All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Travi Wavi. I am your affable host, Travis Eason, local Renaissance man, artist, and now podcast host. And we're coming to you live once again on a Thursday morning from the 325 beautiful, historic downtown Abilene, Texas. The Neon Parrot live studios are located next door to Majestic Coffee Shop, allegedly serving Onyx coffee, my personal fave. And we've got another great show for you guys this week. A quick note, next week we'll be doing a Halloween show on Friday instead of Thursday, and I'm excited to bring you that content. But today I've got another wonderful, amazing guest, another character from the storybook capital of America, Miss Katie Hahn.
Hi.
Welcome, Katie.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Thanks for being on the show. We've had a really wonderful, lovely conversation already this morning, but we're going to let our audience know who you are and get to know you a little bit.
Great.
Let me ask you the question I ask all my guests out of the bat. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have one sister. She lives in Oregon and is in social work and public health up there. She's a rock star.
Right on. Any nieces or nephews?
I do not.
No.
Nope.
Do you guys stay in touch? Do you guys get to?
We do. Mm-hmm.
Get to talk on the phone?
Yeah, every once in a while, and she'll be here for Christmas. So now that she's out of state, she lived in Denton up until a couple of years ago, moved up to Oregon to work on her second master's. So she's graduated from that, and so I'm hoping we'll get to see her a little more often now that she's not in grad school. But
Good. And you grew up in Abilene.
I did.
And are your parents still here?
They are in Lawton, but yes.
Yeah, pretty close.
So my mom works for ACU, and my dad works mostly remotely for Air Tractor in Alney, Texas.
Very cool. So growing up in Abilene, I guess we should let our audience know what your position is and why you're so special and important. But Katie Hahn is the current director, producer, creative director. What's the right title for the Paramount?
Director of Paramount Productions.
Okay.
So I am in charge of the live theater wing at the Paramount. For those of the people that don't know, we do several different things at the Paramount. We began as a movie house. It's still show films. We also do concerts and rentals and other live community events. And then we also have our own live theater wing. So I'm the artistic director for that wing.
And what was the last show that you guys put on?
So the last show that we put on was Seussical this summer.
This past summer. And you've got a Matilda Junior.
Yes, we're doing Matilda Junior in January.
Okay.
That's our annual junior musical. And then I am directing The Sound of Music for our annual summer musical next summer.
Really excited about that.
Yeah,
it's
me
one
too.
Of my favorite. It's one of my favorites.
Same. It's so good.
And then tonight you have the cabaret.
We do. Cabaret Under the Stars. This is a bi-yearly event for us. Typically, we do one around October, one around February or March. And we get 10 to 12 local singers, not professionals, some professional people who do that often, but then also people from the community, people who work at the bank down the street, people who work at, you might see somebody who works at one of the local restaurants or bars, or it really is a community event. And we have a live band headed by Mark Sanders, who's a wonderful local musician, and it's a really fun event. It's a good fundraiser for us as well.
That's great. So if people wanted to get tickets for tonight, how could they do that?
So go to www.paramountabilene.com. You can also call us before 5 o'clock today at 325-676-9620. We're happy to help. We've still got some tickets for all three performances.
Okay, so there's performance tonight, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday.
Yes.
Evening or matinee?
Evening.
Evening, okay. And all the shows start at 7?
Well, the hors d'oeuvres, so we have one of the things that's included in the ticket is heavy hors d'oeuvres. We will also have our bar open to purchase beer and wine. And so that starts at 7 o'clock, and the show itself starts at 8.
That's wonderful. That's good. And how many performers will be entertaining us that are in the cabaret?
There are 11 in this one.
Great.
So.
And is it like 2 songs per singer?
Yes. So they each sing in each act. We take a brief little intermission in between acts to have dessert. And all of that food is provided by always a local restaurant. This time it's Taylor County Tap House.
Oh, very good.
So we're very excited. It's our first time to work with them for this
They've got
event.
great food.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do. And so can you talk about some of the performers that are in the cabaret tonight? I know you mentioned some people that have been on the Travi Wavi. Kyle Martin, Dawn Meeks. Who else?
Paige Sproles will be in there.
She's a wonderful voice teacher. She teaches my daughter.
Wonderful voice teacher. Bob Brooks, who's over at Hardin Simmons. He's the dean of the. I can't remember his official title, but he's dean of the arts college over there. And Amanda Guidi, who also teaches voice at Hardin Simmons. Let's see. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I gotta have my list
Seth
in front of me.
Womack's
Seth Womack. Seth is an always cabareter. So he will be present. Seth works down at the Poorhouse as a craft bartender here. Jacob Swan, who has been in several of our Paramount productions. Lauren Scott, who's a local McMurray student. She's in the theater department over at McMurray. I'm trying to count.
That's okay. It sounds like a wonderful
I've got
cast
a great
of
group.
wonderful local people, and you do this twice a year.
Yes, twice a year. And the theme is always different. So you're always going to get a different show. The performers are different. And the thing that's consistent is that we do it and that we have a wonderful house band that's piano, drums, and bass.
Nice.
And they're excellent. And it's a really fun, unique event. We have 88 tickets available per night. People sit on the stage and the performer is at the edge of the stage. So you're actually looking at the theater itself. You're looking at the audience seating whenever you're in that event. So it's a different view. It's a different experience. And if you haven't gotten a chance to come, I highly recommend it.
So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, going to the cabaret at Paramount would be a treat.
It would be a big treat. Yeah. I'm biased, but it's a wonderful event.
So when it comes to the cabaret, is that something that you're casting, or is that something that you're specifically tapping people to come and do?
We right now we tap people to do that. So some of that happens because I see a lot of theater here, and so I might see somebody in a show that I'm like, oh, I think they might be good for the cabaret, and we'll do that. Sometimes it's that, oh, this person was in a community theater production here 10 years ago, and we remember that they were a good singer, and let's, tap them for that. We're looking very specifically for people that represent kind of all of these different corners of our community. So we have a lot of educators or people who are education adjacent in this particular cabaret, which is exciting for me. They were introducing themselves last night at dress rehearsal, and I was like, oh man, look at all these people who are out making a difference in our community, in the arts specifically, which is really wonderful. And then sometimes it comes from somebody's spouse or family member saying, hey, I recorded this person singing. You should consider them for the cabaret. So the story that George Levesque, our executive director, always tells is Mark Perkins, who is a local insurance agent. Mark has a wonderful voice, and his wife sent us a recording. She recorded him in secret, and then sent us a recording of him singing. So if you have anybody that you would like to propose for the cabaret, we're kind of always under consideration. It doesn't guarantee anything, but we do kind of keep a bank of that. So if you know of anybody, we need to hear them sing. So send a recording. My email is on our website, www.paramountabilene.com.
Very good, Katie. I love that. So you grew up in Abilene. Did you go to Cooper?
I did. I went to Cooper High School, class of 2006.
Nice. And you were a theater kid?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Theater and choir. I started really mainly as a choir kid, and then kind of made my way into theater as well.
And then you came to ACU, and that's how we first got to know each other. And what were some highlights for you at ACU?
Wow. I loved my time at ACU. I am so appreciative for that kind of base theater education that gave me. I think in that program, I really learned to develop my own artistic sensibility, things that I wanted to say with my art. And it taught me to be discerning about the things that I do and be purposeful about everything that I put on stage. how to look at the world and say, what's going on and what do I want to talk about? And it gave me a foundation to do that. I had wonderful friends in the theater department, wonderful professors. You mentioned Dawn Swearingen Meeks. Dawn has been a mentor for me even now, but since I was 18, and she's one of the most important people in my life to this day. And so I think a lot about some of the shows that we worked on. All Shook Up is a show that comes to mind for me a lot. I know. I had a blast in that show. I was in the ensemble, and it just felt like very low pressure, but it was a great production.
It was a great show.
And I just had fun. We had fun on that show. And I really enjoyed that. So Homecoming Musical was always hard, but there's always something good to do there. And then Gary Varner, who's also been on the show, cast me in a production of a play called Moonlight and Magnolias. That was my first kind of featured role at ACU. And I'm not primarily an actor, but being given that opportunity by Gary to do some fun physical comedy, and most of my lines were, "Yes, Mr. Selznick," and said in various ways. It was a really fun experience for me. Taught me a lot about comedy, a lot of what I know about timing now, and I love directing comedy is because of Gary and because of that show.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I love that. So after ACU, you graduated, and then you went and got your MFA at Tech. Is that right?
I did a few things in between that.
Okay.
So I taught middle school, high school theater in Houston for 5 years.
Okay.
So that was what I did immediately out of school. I was 22 and a baby and did not know what I was doing. And thank you to all of the students and parents who put up with me for 5 years while I figured things out. It was a great experience. I met a lot of wonderful people there, and I'm still in touch with a lot of my students and their families. So that's very special to me. After that, I went to Lubbock, to Texas Tech, to do my MFA in performance and pedagogy. So that program, it looks a little different now, but when I was in it, it was kind of an acting directing hybrid with a little bit of a teaching bent. I wanted to be a theater professor at that point, and so that seemed kind of like a logical program for me to be a part of. I specialized in directing in the context of that program, and then when I finished that in 2018, I actually did a summer at Creed Rep in Colorado.
Yeah, we love Creed.
We love Creed. I did a summer at Creed working front of house. I did front of house and box office. Got a lot of experience there under my belt. It was a beautiful summer. And then actually did come back to Abilene because I adjunct taught at Hardin Simmons in the theater department for a while.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah,
cool.
It was awesome. Victoria Spangler, I'm a big fan.
She's great.
And they have a great department, and I love what she's done to grow that department, that BFA program in particular. So I taught several classes over there, and was also, during part of that time, I was working at Blue Cross Blue Shield. I know we're freelancing, we were doing the things, and then in December of 2019, I did a directing fellowship at Oslo Repertory Theater in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay.
So that was, a 3-month gig where I got to go be assistant director for 2 productions at a professional regional theater. And that was kind of my goal for a while. I kind of decided I enjoy teaching, but I was ready to move into a more creative space full time. And so I was very intentionally looking for directing fellowships that I could be a part of to get more experience under my belt and to work with different people and different places. And so that was what I wanted to do, was work for, a professional regional theater somewhere in not Texas. That was kind of my goal. And my contract was always supposed to end on March 15th, 2020. It just so happened that when my contract ended, so did everyone else's because the theater closed. And Man, that was a transformative experience for me. Those 3 months, I got to work with two master directors and watch two very different shows come into fruition, and two very different people. And so I learned a lot. Peter Amster was one of those, and then Laura Kepley, who was the artistic director at Cleveland Playhouse at the time, had come in. And I learned so much from both of them in very different ways, different styles of directing and of show. But when that ended, I thought, well, this will be my springboard, into that professional regional realm. And when the pandemic happened, my industry didn't exist.
No, everything was closed down.
Yeah, I didn't have anywhere to go. And so instead of moving to Chicago, which was what I was going to do, I came home. My parents very graciously, let me come bunk with them for a few months while I kind of found my feet. And I was delivering groceries full time during the pandemic for Shipt. It was a good time, honestly. Like, it was hard work, but I got to meet a lot of cool people in that process, and did that. And then when things were kind of starting to not open up, but events were starting to happen again. That was when the Paramount started doing their cabarets.
Okay.
The first cabarets were distanced. They can only put so many people at a table,
geez, yeah.
because they were very intentionally trying to do a small event that was,
met the requirements. Yeah.
yeah. And so I went to a cabaret. I thought it was awesome. Loved the process. I had done a couple of shows at the Paramount. Loved the space. I grew up going to it, I think, just like most people here. And I always loved being in that building. And I knew that Barry Smoot had been ill and that he had been kind of out. And so I saw George and I said, hey, I'm a director. I have a master's degree in this. If you ever need somebody, I know that Barry's out. If you ever need somebody to, direct a cabaret, or if you need somebody, I have experience, and I'm here for at least the short-term foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Please let me know if you need any assistance.
Yeah.
And then in March of 2021, I got a phone call from George asking me to direct the last 5 years at the Paramount. They were wanting to do a small musical that wouldn't have a lot of person-to-person contact. The last 5 years is definitely that, because it's mostly, there's only one scene where those two actors are together in a song intentionally, where they're not kind of in their own separate world and timeline, and got to work with some people that I really enjoy on that, with Mark Sanders and with Melissa Harrell and Richard Gomez on that. And it turns out that in that process, one of the reasons that George had asked me to direct the show is he was kind of eyeing me for this job. And so I feel very fortunate to have landed in a place that I love. And it's been kind of an interesting journey to get here. So,
But you're here now.
I'm here now.
And so you're coming up on 5 years, I guess?
Yeah, 5 years. So this
In
coming,
March?
about 4.5. So in May
Okay.
of
It'll be
2026. So it'll be 5.
So on the Travi Wavi over the last year, I've had a lot of theater people on. Part of the reason is because I'm a theater guy. I love theater, and I think it's the best training for life. And being able to tell a story or read a room is a super important skill. And thinking about that, and in your time in theater, what are some of the things that theater has done for you personally that's helped you to be the person that you are today?
It's a really good question. I might cry a little bit about this because
it's okay. We got tissues.
Theater is so special to me. I've been very fortunate that for most of my career after graduating school, that I've been able to work in my field. That's rare. It is a blessing that I do not take for granted. Theater has helped me in my confidence as a human being. it has helped develop my point of view, how I think we should treat people, how I think we should treat our world, how I think we should move through the world. Theater has helped me develop that. It has made me more compassionate and empathetic. And that to me is invaluable. I wouldn't be the person I am without this practice. And so I also, on a practical side, I think I've learned how to be a better leader because that's all I do now.
Yeah.
Is I lead casts as a director. They look to me. And if I learned all these things about learning to be a good person and treat people well and those kind of things, they're looking to me to learn those things as well. And so I have to remember all the time that people are watching me and how I behave and how I treat others. And so it has helped me remember you're a leader and you have a responsibility to the people in this cast, to the people at your work, to the people in this community. And so I can't imagine not doing this because theater has just given me so much.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about The Sound of Music a little bit.
Let's do.
So this show will be up is it May? It'll be in May of 26.
It will be June. In late June, early July.
Okay, of this coming
of 2026.
So Sound of Music is, Rodgers and Hammerstein's wonderful, but Sound of Music, I think, is one of the cherries on the top of that entire list. Why did you choose the show?
Well, it's a good question. You'll hear theater people say a lot, why this show now? And I very much live by that when I choose anything. When I look at the shows that we want to do at the Paramount, I am always looking at what's going on in our world and what I want to talk about. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'm looking to tell people what to think. It just means I'm looking to have a conversation. Sound of Music on a practical level is popular, right? I'm hoping that this brings people into the theater and that it sells tickets. That's always a goal in any kind of,
bring an audience.
You got to bring in an audience, right? So that practical element is there. I think it's also, I do not direct shows with children very often, so it's also an opportunity to bring kids into a cast at the Paramount that's not a junior musical. So that's always an excellent opportunity. We did have kids in Seussical this summer, and it was the first time in a few years that we'd done that. So I am doing that back to back, which we're gonna wrangle some cats this summer. That's
what did you learn from last summer that you want to change as far as that's concerned?
Oh, I don't even know that it's about changing anything. It's just about I did learn a lot because it's been a while since I worked with kids in general, right? I don't think I had done a show with children in it that I wasn't producing, right? I don't direct our junior musical. Nina McLean does that for us. And so I get to be like the cool aunt in those junior musical productions. But it had been a long time since I worked with kids and the world has changed. And there has to be more accountability with how we work with children. We have to remember that they are, again, following, watching everything that you do and say. And so we need to make sure that parents know exactly where their kid is going to be and for how long, and that they can rely on rehearsal starting on time and rehearsal ending on time and protecting their time and their space, knowing that they are small humans and they deserve the respect as well as whoever's in an adult cast. So it was about remembering those things and being organized and making sure that they felt a part of what was going on, even though the gap between them and, the college students, probably the next youngest people in that production, that they feel a part of that show family in a way that's like, enriching for them, that makes them want to do theater again. That's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
On top of just their parents have entrusted them to your care, and that's important. And so I think going into Sound of Music, it's about remembering those things that we worked so hard to do in Seussical, but it's about respecting those kids as actors and as people. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest takeaway for me.
I love that.
So
just thinking back, I'm reminiscing on my own life about when I got started in theater in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, so many years ago. Used Tiny Tim and A Christmas Carol.
fantastic.
A couple years, but having those older, the high schoolers and the college kids, and then the adults in the cast, and getting that sense of that theater family and all that time spent together and rehearsal and then when the show comes together, it's an incredibly magical experience, and I know I learned more from my seniors, anybody old, which was everybody older than me in those shows, that sort of set the tone for me of what theater family should look like or could be,
Absolutely.
And it's so enriching. It is so enriching.
Yeah.
That's really great.
I'm excited. I think it'll be good, and good to work with students, young students again, and I'm excited for that opportunity. And honestly, that stretches me as a director as well, because it's a different set of skills. Maybe not different, but like an additional set of skills, working with kids. So it'll be good. But, that's long story to say, those are kind of the practical elements why I chose The Sound of Music. But I also want to look, when I choose a show, I look at what's going on in the world, what I'm missing from the world, or something that strikes me, or maybe something that strikes me in a positive way, or something that I want to talk about, or something that strikes me in a way that may kind of like sits in my heart and feels bad or irritating or ill at ease maybe. I see a lot of unkindness in the world and cruelty. And I want to pull out the light. I want to counteract that. I want to counteract the cruelty.
I see.
With something. And The Sound of Music for me is about people who are standing up for what is right in the face of injustice, in the face of cruelty, in the face of harm. Yes, it is delightful, happy, wonderful. But what I like about the stage show, now the movie I think did a good job of kind of not scaling down the story, but slimming it in a way that was great for a mass audience appeal in a cinema. It's a beautiful film. I mean,
Julie Andrews.
It's perfect, right? It is a perfect movie. It's so good. But what I like about the stage show is that it's got a little more bite to it. There's some songs that are not in the movie that are in the stage show, songs about political apathy, apathy in general, what it looks like to see something happening that is scary and harmful and not right, and be like, I don't ever want to be like, I seek to see those things that are happening and do something about it. And that's what the Von Trapps do in the context of that show. And so that's, I think with The Sound of Music, you get both. You get that nostalgia, the beautiful songs that we remember. You get the sense of family. And you also get the sense of something is happening and somebody is standing up for what's right. And that's what I want to talk about next summer.
I love it.
So
I had the opportunity to be, I think, young Kirk in Sound of Music,
Fantastic.
probably
God bless Kirk.
1986, 1987, something like this, against Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Orpheum. And I was just having a flashback to like little Abigail Barth and I hiding behind the scenery in the last scene of the show as the Von Trapps are escaping, and it's just that show means a whole lot more to me today than it did back in 1986, 87. Some of that's because of our current political climate and just culture, what we're all experiencing. So I'm really hopeful that your production of Sound of Music will highlight some of these uncomfortable things to think about, talk about. It's almost like a mirror now in a way.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm encouraged for you.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited.
Do you have some other shows that you're looking forward to doing?
Just in life or at
like
the Paramount?
You have like a little list of like, I can't wait to do this.
List. Oh yeah, of course. I have a lot of dream shows. You probably know this about me, but musicals are my favorite thing in the whole world. I'm also a musician, and so that comes naturally to me, the timing of musicals and how they flow. And so those are my favorite things to direct. Most of what I get to do at the Paramount is larger scale musicals. But what I love more than anything is these kind of small chamber musicals that are, 10 people or less. My thesis in grad school was Next to Normal. I loved working on that show. It was small. We were in a 90-seat house. I love that kind of intimacy in the theater. And so my favorite musical theater composer is Janine Tesori, who probably more famously did the scores for Shrek, for Thoroughly Modern Millie, some of those things. But it's some of her smaller shows that I really, really want to sink my teeth into one day. Fun Home is a top of the bucket list kind of show. I recognize myself and people I know in that show. There's another ACU's doing Violet, which is another one of hers. So I'm excited to see that. I'd love to direct that one day as well. But then there's a more recent show of hers called Kimberly Akimbo. Okay. It is about a girl who's about to turn 16. She also has a disease that makes her age faster, like 4 times faster than her peers. So in production, she's played by a woman in her 70s. And you're watching her move through the world when she knows that 16 is the age at which her disease is supposed to be terminal. And so she's turning 16, and it sounds so depressing, but it is a musical of joy and of life, and there are hard moments to wrestle with in there, and I love those kinds of dichotomies, the joy and the pain kind of mixed together and being held in this space that's so sacred for a couple of hours, and you watch her find community and find family in the midst of, quite frankly, a life of chaos. And so I like learning what it means to live and have adventures. And those are the kinds of things that I love the most when I think about the shows that I'm drawn to. And so I really hope to direct that one day. It does involve an ice skating rink on stage.
Ooh,
so
it's challenging.
Indeed. But I think I'm up for figuring out that challenge.
Well, now they make it's like almost like a plastic dance floor that you can put down and skate on.
Yeah.
For all the figure skaters and hockey players that want to skate off season.
Yeah. And I think on Broadway it's some kind of glycerin treatment on the stage where doesn't necessarily affect the actors when they're walking around with regular shoes on, but when they put the skates on, they can actually skate on stage. Cool. So yeah, so those are the kinds of things that I think about. I would love. I'm a Sondheim girly also, so I got to direct my first Sondheim at the Paramount a couple years ago to doing Sweeney Todd, and I would love to do some others. Assassins is on my list. I would love to do a little night music. I think probably 5 people in town would come see that, but somebody pay me to do it. I will do it. So yeah, things like that. And there's a play out there that I have seen that I would love to direct called POTUS. It is by Selena Fillinger, and it is women in the White House who are running the White House while the men in charge are not. So
That's fun.
Yeah, hijinks ensue. Lots of things happen.
Fun.
It's delightful.
I mean, I wonder if you feel similarly, but theater is storytelling as a mirror, as sometimes as a wake-up call, sometimes as a life lesson, sometimes as gospel. Like, there's just something so much more powerful and profound about sitting down and listening to or engaging in a story that's told live in front of you by other people. That, to me anyway, it's my personal opinion, but it's way more moving than just about anything else. That there's not many other experiences in life that I've had where I've, had my breath taken away by a song or a scene or a comedy or tragedy, whatever it is. And even when I think about seeing some shows that maybe are like low caliber, right? Student productions or something, whatever. Like even in that, it's like it's always worth the time and attention to sit and to take that in. And it's just a magical industry. It's a magical craft. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, theater is so wonderful because you can do whatever you want with it, right? Like, I love to go see a good show that's pure entertainment, right? That's just like escapism to get us out, because we need that too, right? We need the opportunities to get out of what we're kind of experiencing day to day in the world and the friction that we feel just kind of existing as a human in 2025. We need that time out, that time away without thinking too hard about what we're seeing. But I also appreciate the opportunity to present or experience a piece of art that just has some questions. Again, not necessarily looking to tell you what to think,
right,
but I like sitting in an audience and being like, huh.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great feeling because it's like I learn new things about myself and about the world every time I go see theater.
Or those moments in, particular shows where the entire audience has an aha moment together.
Yes.
And it just like changes the entire energy in the room.
You can feel when the air gets sucked out of a room in a performance, in good ways and bad ways, right? You can feel that. And theater is such a collective experience. And I feel like our collective experiences have changed so much since the pandemic. But now that theater's kind of back in a space where we can be in the same room, that's transformative. Like feeling the energy of your neighbor. I think film does the same thing when people go out and see movies in the movie theater. That's such an important, it's a shared experience. It's community. It's a chance to have a dialogue with somebody. I loved, last year at the Paramount, I produced a play called John Proctor is the Villain, which was just on Broadway. We got to do it before it was on Broadway. We were rehearsing it when it wasn't published, which is just awesome. It was a great opportunity. And Alicia Taylor directed that for us. And one of the things I appreciated is that the audience size for that show was not large. We had 4 performances and 250 total people, over the course of the performances. We didn't expect a lot more. It's not a well-known play. It was fairly new, and some hard subject matter. But what I appreciate is that I still get comments randomly, being like, "Oh, you look familiar. Did you, were you involved with John Proctor's The Villain?" And I'll be like, "Yes, I produced that. I'm very, very pleased to have had that on our stage." And people are still talking about the things that it made them think. I got to have a conversation with somebody in the lobby for 30 minutes after the show, somebody that I didn't know. I'm still getting comments about that, over a year later. That's the kind of thing that I love, is the collective experience and meeting somebody that maybe you wouldn't have met otherwise, and getting to have a conversation with somebody where you break down what your own personal experience, you compare and contrast experiences in the theater. And I just feel like that the spaces in which to do that, there's just less of them now.
Yeah.
Well,
and I mean, COVID really took the wind out of the sails in so many areas, and I'm really pleased to see that theater's making. It's not going anywhere, but theater's survived multiple pandemics over its history.
Yes.
It's been around for a long time. I expect it to stay. It's also interesting, and maybe you know more about this than I do, but I have yet to see or read any new play or script regarding that particular time in our history. And maybe it's because we're only just 5 years out.
Right.
But I think that would be really interesting content to do, and theater would be a great place to help us all start to unpack that shared experience of living through a global pandemic.
Absolutely.
We're still all trying to find our voices about that.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be interesting when we start to see more art that's centered on
Around
that
that,
experience.
Well, I can't keep you all day today, and we had a little bit of a late start, but what are some of your own personal goals and visions for things that you'd like to see happen for yourself or for Abilene or for the Paramount?
Oh, yeah, that's a big question. Goals for myself, I just seek all the time to grow as a director. Everything I choose because I hope it will provide me some kind of challenge. I always want to challenge myself every time I do a show, even if it's a show. I did Seussical this summer. It's the only show I've directed twice. Directed it about 12 years ago when I was teaching. And I thought, okay, here are the themes that I found important the first time. Here are the themes that I think are relevant now. And how am I going to not necessarily level up from a production perspective, because they're just two different productions. It's one's high school, one's more like in the professional theater realm. The goals are different there. One is educational, one is more like what I see as community service. And so I had the opportunity to sit and say, like, how am I going to do this differently? Because I don't want it to be the same.
Yeah.
I always want a new challenge. So it's one of those things. And I think also outside of professional, my goal is to just be a better, more compassionate, more civically engaged, more personally engaged with people. I want to be a better friend and better daughter and sister, and those things are all important to me. So I really am trying to kind of pay attention to the world and the things that I can do in it and how to use my skills. So that's kind of, an always, overarching goal, to be very broad about that. I obviously have, a lot of, little professional goals here and there and things that I'd like to do. I'm at the Paramount. I'm moving into a little bit of I'm adding some fundraising responsibilities. So that's new for me. I'm writing grants, and so that's a new skill that I'm learning how to flex, and I'm excited about having something new to work on, and something to get me actually where I can use my skills in the creative space to write these narratives for how to bring funding into our organization. That's important because we are a nonprofit and we rely on things like that. And then for the Paramount, we have grown so much in the last couple of years. It's been really astounding to see the progress that we've made, the things that we've added. I'm very proud of our entire staff for what we do. And I think I just want us to keep serving the community the best that we can. That's the goal always is that we exist for the community. We're there to serve Abilene and there to provide good quality performance, film. We have a reputation as being a place where people can come and see something that's great. And I want to continue that, especially in Paramount Productions. It's like, what don't we have in Abilene, and can I bring it in a play, in a musical? How does my sensibility contribute to what people are going to see on our stage, and how can I use that in a responsible way? And then for Abilene, I love this town so much. Right. We were talking before. I think when you grow up in Abilene and you come back here, there's a I don't know. It's like people think that they say all the time that Abilene's a black hole. Oh, it sucks you back in.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, Twilight Zone. Well, I chose to be back here. And I want to use, the professional skills that I have to make Abilene a better place, and to make sure that people know that when they live here, there are things of great quality people and work of great quality in this town that are helping make us more well-rounded and enriching the community. These are important things to think about. And so I love Abilene. And one of the things that I want for Abilene is I want to see Abilene in all of its business progress and all of the things that are kind of coming around the pike. We have so much exploding and happening. I hope that in that process, we can become a community that recognizes that there are a lot of different kinds of people here that believe different things, and that that's to be respected. I want Abilene to be a more open-minded community, a more inclusive community. I know that that's in us.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I seek to do with my set of skills is I want the Paramount to be a place where everyone is safe, everyone is welcome. It is a theater for everyone. And that's the most important thing to me. I just want our town, for all of the welcoming that it brings. Abilene is such a wonderful place with so many wonderful people, but I want us to strive to be more inclusive and to look at viewpoints that are not the majority.
Right.
Abilene is not a monolith.
Right.
Texas, the United States, we are not a monolith. We have lots of different wonderful viewpoints in the world, and I want to make sure that Abilene stays open to that.
Yeah. To be the melting pot, to be a cultural melting pot.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that. Well, my friend, I know that, so just another plug for the Paramount and the Cabaret that starts tonight.
Yeah.
Tickets are available.
Tickets are available.
And there's heavy hors d'oeuvres from Tap House. And the doors open at, you said 6:30, 7?
So you can come a few minutes before 7. We'll kind of hang in the lobby, but we'll open the doors into the theater for hors d'oeuvres at 7 o'clock.
Okay. And you're going to, if you choose to come to the Cabaret, you'll be sitting on stage with the performers, looking out into the audience.
Yes.
And there's a show tonight and tomorrow and Saturday. And then the next locally produced thing will be Matilda
Jr. In January.
in January.
It's going to be the weekend before Martin Luther King Day. And then we'll do another cabaret in February at Valentine's Day weekend. And then the next big adult-focused play that we'll do is Sound of Music.
So cool. That's so cool. And there's a lot of other great theater happening this weekend in town.
There sure is.
It's fun to watch on social media where people say, "Can't you guys get your schedules together?" And no, there's too many people and too many things going on. Which is wonderful. You have choices.
It is an excellent problem to have.
Yep, you have choices. Lots of good theater happening. I think ACU's got Shrek maybe this weekend or next.
Shrek is next weekend, but ACT is doing Streetcar Named Desire this weekend.
That's happening this weekend.
That is this weekend and next weekend.
Andrew Robinson is Blanche. Go see her.
Fantastic.
What are some final thoughts?
Final thoughts are, I'm so happy that you had me on this. I mean, we've known each other for such a long time, and this was just delightful to get to reconnect a little bit and chat about things going on. And I love Abilene, and I have big ideas and a vision for what we can do in this town. And I just hope that people know that we live in a special place. It deserves to be treated with respect. And we owe Abilene bringing our very best.
Put our best foot forward.
Put our best foot forward. We're not in a big city, you know, we're not getting swallowed by the cityness of it all. And so we have an opportunity to be loud and visible and inclusive and give Abilene everything that we have to offer.
I love that.
No, it's important.
Well, it's great to have you as a fantastic character in our storybook capital of America here and doing good things and telling good stories and leading with your best foot forward. And I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
You're a wonderful addition to the Paramount, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, not that you need it, but I'm proud of you. Well, friends, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell Katie Hahn how awesome she is. And go check out the Cabaret this weekend or any of the other wonderful theater that's happening throughout our community this weekend. There's so much. I will be back next week. We're going to be doing it on Friday on Halloween. We've got a special little program there for you. And again, if you ever want to come down and catch us here at the Neon Parrot Live Studios, we're located next door to Majestic Coffee Shop, allegedly serving Onyx. Sam Wolf, producer extraordinaire, thank you today for running back and forth. And we had a little assistant help from Tim Prosher, helping out a little bit today as the coffee shop's busy. So anyway, Katie, thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's been my pleasure, and we'll see you guys next week. Signing off from the Travi Wavi.